Once again, this is the beginning of every episode.
Quickly Periscope.
Welcome to Periscope. It's okay, there's no viewers yet, so we're cool.
Alright.
We got a minute or three. James needs to get an iPad Pro.
Now we have one.
I would like to get one.
How's it going, Sarah Freiberg? How are you? Welcome to the Periscope Show for Four Raving Lunatics. This is episode 13.
In this episode, what are we going to talk about?
And this episode is going to be about superheroes and our favorite superheroes. Hopefully you guys will chime in and let us know your favorite superheroes. I know specifically I chose superheroes based on comics I read as a kid and stuff. I kind of avoided the superheroes that are in current movies because it's the same 8. And they're all kind of one-dimensional as far as that goes. So, yeah, hopefully we got some good interaction with the crowd, with the watchers. Last episode was Star Wars.
Yep.
If you want to catch up on that, it is on YouTube. It's on iTunes. So you can watch that on YouTube or listen to it on iTunes as a podcast. And
Check this out.
yeah, join us going forward.
Before we get into our top 5, do you guys have any pet peeves for the week?
Just your everyday, normal work awesomeness. Starting new programs, new things at work to try to boost certain metrics, and I think they're a bunch of bullshit. I don't know why, because when I think about it and on paper, it's nothing different than what we should be doing and stuff, but there's something about it that rubs me the wrong way, and I haven't been able to point it out yet. So my current objective is to find an alternate way of doing it that is better. So,
Good luck with that.
yeah, no kidding.
You have anything?
No.
You guys, no fun. Come on, you gotta find something to complain about. I
I have a pretty mundane life.
Inventory's coming up. Prep for that sucks.
was going to give a customer story, but I didn't jot one down. And I have a list in there. Mine from everyday life is doctors. So I was going to complain about doctors because for the second time now, so had to sign up for insurance, trying to get life insurance, and in doing so, had to go through blood work and all this stuff. And they told me I have a higher rate because I have high cholesterol. Now, my cholesterol isn't actually high, it's the ratio between the good and bad cholesterol. So my good cholesterol is high enough to where it affects my ratio of good to bad, and that puts me above whatever their norm is. And it's the second time that a doctor has given me problems because of something being abnormal that's not really an issue. And the last time was my bilirubin count was up, so they made me go get like a ultrasound on my liver and all this other stuff. And it's like all the research I've done and read, it's like if you exercise and you tear down your muscles consistently, in doing so that will raise your bilirubin count because it's just an average. It's not actually your liver, it's how much is in your blood. So I found that out on my own. I don't know why my doctor didn't want to agree with that, but
Unhealthy, fatty.
after getting a second opinion, I got the same feedback. Like, oh, that's probably from exercise.
You exercise too much. Whoa. We can't insure you if you're going to be so healthy.
It's like, I understand that it's a norm, but what doctors actually do is take a bunch of previous information and they just group people based on that. Like, they just memorize norms and they put people in those because that's what medicine is. I mean, that's fine. I just don't understand why every now and then when there's something out of the norm that they don't look at it differently. So, anyway, every time that I have some interaction, it's like, you're going to die. It's like, why do you think I'm going to die? I exercise all the time and I eat healthy.
Because that's how people die.
I guess. What you got? Anyway, that's our.
Start us off.
That's my pet peeve. So
Cool beans.
I'm glad you guys have nothing to complain. Anyway, on to more positive things.
All right.
So.
We've had one person already say that their favorite superhero is Iron Man. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Other than cool beans.
I enjoy him.
I like the Iron Man in the movie. Never read a lot of comic books with Iron Man in it.
Yeah, as I say, I never paid attention to Iron Man as a kid, but since he's come in the movie, it's like I can't see anybody else as Tony Stark or Iron Man. So, if it came from that, whoever's favorite was Iron Man,
Awesome.
yeah, he's a great Iron Man.
All right,
You're first.
I guess I'm first. I don't know that these are in any particular order, but probably my favorite superhero growing up was Wolverine. I just liked the raw, visceral, violent potential of Wolverine as a kid. I liked his feud with Sabretooth.
Somebody says hey from Australia.
Hello. I always thought his outfit was really cool. The ability to have metal skeleton and be able to heal yourself was always really appealing to me. And
did you watch the X-Men cartoon?
yeah.
Okay.
The one from Fox back in the
Yeah.
90s, one of the best cartoons ever.
Yeah, I mean, Wolverine was pretty awesome on it. I seen him more when I was younger on that than I did in the comics. He was in some of the comics I read, but not a whole lot.
You had to seek out like the Wolverine comics, not the X-Men comics. He never was in the X-Men comics hardly.
No, he was. You just didn't see him because he's like that tall.
Group shot.
Comics Wolverine was like 4'11". Fact.
Yeah. I'm cranky.
Wolverine. What do you think about Hugh Jackman as Wolverine? Would you have rather seen someone else?
No, nobody else could have been Wolverine. At this point now, I can't see anybody else being him.
I don't know. That's it. Is it so far in? I think he does a good Wolverine. And I know his choice to follow him up is Tom Hardy. He wants Tom Hardy to be Logan and Wolverine after him. I don't know how I feel about that. That's more along the height requirements.
And he looks bigger.
But as I said, you could also get like Jason Statham to be Wolverine. It's like, okay. They're both short and stocky. I don't know.
Yeah, but the picture went around of Tom Hardy, full beard, smoking a cigar, whatnot, and just had it right next to Hugh Jackman. It was like, everybody said he'd make it good. If he looked like that, I don't think he'd be bad. He just has to sound the part.
You just gotta say bub.
Yeah, a lot.
Gravel his voice and say bub.
Who you got?
I'm gonna go Superman first.
What?
Where does this Superman obsession come from?
I don't know. Always. I cannot honestly think of. I think it looks fantastic. The movie's gonna be awesome. They're asking about the trailer.
Okay. It's just gonna be a good movie.
I honestly can't think of a singular moment that's like, I'm gonna like that. I've just, as long as I can remember, enjoyed Superman stuff.
He just really likes grown men and.
Did you like the underwear. Did you see the movies when you were little? I mean, have they influenced or?
Good. First one's good. Second one's fantastic. The third one's goofy. And the fourth one's just.
You said you hate Superman. Why do you hate
Superman? I don't like Superman. I don't like Captain America.
You don't like any clean cut.
Right. I just don't like the Boy Scout, the good guy, the Boy Scout thing. And I know both of them took their bad turns, but that doesn't tarnish their image. They're still like.
The only thing I hate about Superman is if you take off your glasses, I don't know who you are. Like.
I mean, I might be Superman.
That's what I'm saying. If it's a totally different person.
Did you not read the Injustice comic? Or I know you played the game. They have the comic that goes along.
Yeah.
Where that alternate Superman.
I know he has a god complex and
he murders the Joker.
But
like punches through his chest or something.
that I think comes from an older era when Superman first appeared. You know, it was like, yeah, it didn't have to be elaborate as a costume change. You know, it wasn't. It was just kind of like, all right, give him an alternate identity.
Everybody thinks that that's one of his kind of powers, where he had that just laundry list.
Excellent at news reporting.
Well, I was thinking like mind control. I look different.
That the
He
he has that laundry list of just goofy things he can do. One of them they've always said could be he can emit something where people just, because that's the most obvious disguise where you look, it's like, it looks like Superman with glasses on. To where people don't see that. What you got?
I'm going to go with Batman. And I was going through all the Marvel stuff because I'm a big Marvel guy. And I was like, you know, I had a lot of Batman comics and I love the cartoons. So if you go overall, and the movies, my favorite superhero movies are probably the Batman movies. So
the modern ones, right?
Yeah.
Not the...
Well, I mean, even at that time, though, like...
Well, that's true.
I mean, when Jack Nicholson was a Joker, it was like, oh, this is awesome, and I had little toys from it. So
Michael Keaton was a fantastic Batman.
I mean, you know, even back
I like
then,
those movies.
up till like
All of them. Even Bat Nipples.
You would like Batman and Robin.
yeah, up until that. But like I said, at the time, you know, Jim Carrey was a good Riddler. You know, it was a good choice in '94 whenever it came out.
Everything was bright colored, neon.
It was supposed to be Robin Williams.
It was like eating those like weird wild berry Pop-Tarts where it's like, this is bright blue and green and red, and it's not the flavor. It's just bright colors. That's the way I look at those movies. It's just like...
What do you think of Affleck as Batman?
I think there could have been better choices, but I'll reserve judgment. Good Will Hunting is a really good movie, even though he's not in that a whole lot.
I think so far everything
Dogma's great.
I think everything I've seen thus far, he looks pretty good in it. Sounds good.
I think he's purposely trying to redeem himself from Daredevil. And so this movie's going to be... This and Suicide Squad and whatever other movies he does is going to be kind of like a... I promise you I can be a good superhero.
But there are just certain things about some people that it doesn't matter. Like, they don't seem... they don't have that aura about them, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. When they first announced that it was Ben Affleck, I was like, huh, okay. And he's supposed to be an older, grizzled Batman?
Kinda. Well, that's because I don't want to defend too much until I see it, but everything you've seen, he did all these kind of like action movies, whatnot. He does Daredevil, that is just horrendous.
It's a really hard thing to pull off, being somebody that's relatable, but
and then he's
that's
done
unbelievable too. You know, like everybody that's a superhero has some unbelievable power. So you take somebody that you see as a normal person
and give him...
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure...
ability.
Granted, it's been years now. I'm sure when whoever, John Favreau and whatnot, cast Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, everybody just thought like, I mean, this cokehead's going to be Iron Man?
Well, I mean, it was the same thing with Heath Ledger. When they said Heath Ledger's going to be the Joker.
Yeah, because he did all those
like,
rom-coms and whatnot.
Who's this guy? And now, like, when somebody thinks of the Joker, if it's not Jack Nicholson or Adam, or...
Spanish guy? What?
No. Never mind.
Are you
They
going
think of Heath Ledger.
to say Ricardo Montalban?
No.
Or Cesar Romero was he?
Yeah,
Cesar Romero.
Yeah.
Ricardo Montalban was on that.
No, but like I really think Jesse Eisenberg's gonna do the Lex Luthor role
Everybody's
the way Heath Ledger did the Joker.
Everybody says it's good.
You're not gonna be able to see it any other way.
Just look at all the stuff Affleck's done since those whole Argo and whatnot, where he won Oscars. Like he turned himself into a
Never saw it.
A-lister.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Is like the movies that I think that he does so well in are usually
More
dramas,
grounded.
and he's like a real person. And
right.
Like, usually the people that are in superhero movies and stuff, that's kind of what you're used to them being unbelievable.
Right.
And it's kind of made this persona for them that's different than what they are in their other movies. It's just really hard. You do get typecast and stuff.
Right.
I mean,
absolutely. Johnny Depp is
crazy.
never not Jack Sparrow. He's just Jack Sparrow as.
It's like, are we going to take Tom Hanks and put him in a superhero movie now? It just wouldn't. Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
So, I mean, that's just kind of the way I feel about him. But that's not to say that the acting won't be there. It's just kind of hard to separate them from the other stuff. Like, when's he going to like save someone, or like in Argo, or where's the cop that in the town?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think it's going to be a good movie. I'm more excited about Suicide Squad than I am Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Just because I think they'll take more risk. And
Well, that's somebody though. Will Smith is somebody who
as Deadshot.
can do pretty much anything. Nobody really typecast him.
Right.
I don't know. Everybody did kind of pan After Earth.
Yeah, but
I
I
never
mean,
saw it.
he's not the Fresh Prince.
Could be.
No. Anyway, my next one is Colossus. And this really just comes from the old arcade game.
Of course it does.
I always liked the character design, and I had a couple figures when I was a kid. But I really liked the big hulking, just slow-moving, heavy-hitting persona. And they could just be menacing by a mere presence. And I really like the way they're going to portray him. And
Well, that's what I'm.
Deadpool.
I was going to go down through here, and it's like, well, if I do this, all of mine are going to be the same. They're all just going to be big, strong, massive things that can dominate the world. I mean,
Let me guess. Your original list had Colossus, the Hulk, Juggernaut.
yeah. I mean,
James has a little man complex.
Bane, maybe.
I thought about putting Bane on there.
Nah, I didn't like Bane until the movie.
I
He
cannot.
broke
I
Batman's back.
can't read that.
That's sorry, that was Russian or Greek or something, and
You just offended
But-
the hell out of somebody.
it came across as
Who you got?
Thor.
I like Thor.
Always have been into mythology and stuff. I didn't really learn about or even care about the character till like all the Marvel movies started coming out. And this was the couple years before where it's like, we're going to make a Thor movie. So I looked into it, whatnot, got curious. Before that, I'd already studied's the wrong word, but read up on like Norse mythology, so I already knew a little bit of that. And the movie came out. I love the movie. I know everybody says he's like the weakest of the Marvel movies. Like his aren't the
Oh, nah.
his don't have the pull that Captain America does.
I think Captain America's first movie is the weakest of the Marvel movies.
I enjoy it. But I thought the Thor, the fact like he's strong, can go at least for a time toe to toe with the Hulk. I've always liked him.
I see that. He's one of those larger than life guys too that lift 500 megatons or whatever the.
Just move the earth out of the way.
I have Gambit. I was trying to think about the X-Men movie or the cartoon and stuff, and I was like, well, I like Wolverine, but if I could choose a personality between the two, I think I'd rather be Gambit.
He did kind of steal that cartoon though.
Like he's a pretty cool guy. Throwing cards, uses his staff, like pretty cool character.
Yeah.
I know they haven't done a lot with him in anything else, but
The movie's supposed to start filming in March.
Something like that, yeah.
Is it?
he has occasional accent. I mean,
Is it supposed to still be Channing Tatum?
It is. It is
I don't-
Channing Tatum.
I don't have a problem with that. I actually thought in X-Men Origins, I thought that Gambit was pretty good.
Yeah.
yeah, I did too.
The kid that played him, I can't remember his name from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, he's in that Lone Survivor, the Mark Wahlberg movie, right? The
Oh, I know
war
what you're talking
movie.
about.
Yeah,
It's I think it's Lone Survivor.
yeah.
Well, he's
Cool guys.
He did the part. It sounded good. I thought he played a good game.
Tyler Kitsch. That's his name.
Taylor.
Kitsch.
Okay.
Kirch.
Kitsch.
I think there's an R in there though.
I know.
It might be Kitch though.
Who you got?
My next would be Nightcrawler.
I thought about him too.
Because of his prehensile tail.
Just the ability to teleport.
Yeah, he's
Kind of sold it for me. Just being like
well. See,
buggy and
on him, and it's. I like comic books because of the art. Like I really enjoy
his
this.
character designs.
I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, his character design's fantastic.
I liked the Nightcrawler, but arguing with somebody at work because of the movie, I like Azazel, his dad. Just because I never liked his line of sight kind of teleport, and the fact that when you read up on him and Azazel can literally teleport wherever the hell he wants to, I thought that was a lot cooler. Plus he looks better. The red's better than the blue.
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
I've seen some really good artwork that people have done with Nightcrawler. So.
Yeah.
He's in the new movie.
Yeah.
Next.
Bring it up.
Hmm.
Bring it up.
No, that's why there's a question mark. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Darkseid. Thought he's one of the best villains. Technically, he's kind of a god because he's one of the new gods. Fight Superman goes toe to toe. The Omega Beams were awesome, even though they're kind of cheesy. The fact that they can follow you literally anywhere. But I always liked him. I thought he was a good villain.
I don't know enough about DC to get into it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just know Major Superman enemy.
Well, that was the difference between Marvel and DC. Was where Marvel had more human people-esque, like Captain America, and even Wolverine to a point. DC went different. That's where they had like the new gods and whatnot. Cause I think Jack Kirby came up with him.
Well, I mean, that is one thing I will say. Like, if you want to get into the universe, I think DC does a lot better with all that because, like, the Lantern Corps and all this, I think that's a lot more interesting than all of the aliens they have on the X-Men and stuff. But, you know.
Plus the different rotating casts of the X-Men and then of the Guardians of the Galaxy and then...
Plus the new, I've been watching it online on that one YouTube channel called Comics Explained where they go over the comic series Darkseid War. And it shows kind of how they became the new gods by killing the old gods. And he ends up fighting the Anti-Monitor, but he loses and dies. But I'm sure he'll be back. But I've always been a cool villain.
That's cool. I don't have any villains. I thought about the Joker, but I don't know.
Who do you have?
Next, Deadpool. I really enjoyed him on the games. The Marvel Legends. That was the game, right? No. Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
Those, yeah. And then, unfortunately, you don't get until the end of the Lego game, but he's awesome in the comics. I have a couple graphic novels, read quite a few of the comics.
I really like the Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, like that line, and then the one where he kills the like Moby Dick and a bunch of like the classic literary classics and stuff. I've not read any of those, but just seeing the covers just makes me giddy. Like,
yeah, it's great writing. I mean, it's clever, it's funny, just the sarcasm in it, and it's out there. So
yeah.
So you excited for the movie?
Yeah. I probably wouldn't be if somebody else was doing it.
No, he'd have to be it. I don't think anybody else could.
Yeah. I'll go try to plan a trip to IMAX on that day to go see it in 3D.
I did enjoy seeing out at Books A Million. They had the little Mini-Mates figures. That was the Deadpool sets. It was like Deadpool Thor, Deadpool, and just went through the. I don't remember who all was in there, but it was funny.
Yeah.
I think it was like Thorpool or Dead
Yeah,
Thor or something stupid. It was funny.
Deadpool,
I have a
Dogpool,
bunch.
Deadpool. All the different.
Who you got next?
My next one is a villain. It's Mr. Sinister. Again, just big, menacing. I really like the character design. Can't even tell you a whole lot about what he did.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
As far as his influence on
Yeah, there's one back there somewhere.
I thought I remember seeing it.
Behind you, directly, I think. Down there.
Yeah.
I do like the character design a whole lot. I thought he, like, liquefy or something. Like, he'd,
I think so.
like
I
I thought he could change shape somehow.
Yeah.
But he's going to be in the new movie too, or
no?
I thought he was an Apocalypse guy. Like, I thought Apocalypse.
Well, I think at some point he was one of his horsemen, but at least not for this movie. He's not.
Yeah. It'd be neat to see him.
I
thought
he was a horseman at one point.
So was the Hulk. Hulk was the horseman of war.
Anyway,
Everybody was a horseman at one point.
Yeah, I think he.
everybody's
It was
agreed.
either in the
was
comics.
A lantern, everybody was a.
Yeah, either in the comics, it was either the Rhino or Juggernaut, who can't be. I think it's the Juggernaut was running full speed to where he can't be stopped, and the Hulk hit him and knocked him backwards because he had that extra power. I read a lot of that stuff.
Nerd.
Who you got next?
I'm gonna go Doomsday. And I've always, since he was created in the 90s ish, I've always liked him. I thought for a while he was kind of a cop out because I knew they had Golden Boy Superman, can't be killed, all this and that. And they finally came up with a villain that seemed like this cop out of like this ultimate thing that can't die. But then the more you think about it, he's kind of a cool bad guy. Like he dies and kept getting cloned until he would die and resurrect himself and die again and resurrect himself. So he is theoretically immortal. He did kill Superman. He is one of the ultimate bad guys. And I have a standing argument with somebody that I think, in the eventuality, Doomsday could beat up the Hulk. At some point, the Hulk's going to...
Tucker out.
No, not even Tucker out. He's going to keep killing Doomsday, and Doomsday adapts to what killed him before. So Doomsday's going to keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
So the Hulk.
Yeah. At some point, something's going to hit. The Hulk can still go back to a person. He can get hit hard enough and just go right back into like.
Well, I was just going to say you'd have to hit him and kill him before you made him angry enough that he got stronger. That's how you'd have to beat the Hulk. Or put a bullet in his head. Can't put a bullet in his head because then he gets angry and
that's one of
catches it.
It's one of the things where they say the Flash could beat the Hulk because he could punch him hard enough he'd just turn right into Banner immediately, knock him the hell out.
What you got?
The Thing. I don't know why. He can take a beating. He's lovable. I don't know.
He's a giant granite teddy bear.
Yeah. I like the character design. I like the fact that he is near invincible and all that good stuff. I'm a big Fantastic Four fan too. I was debating on putting him or Johnny Storm, but I always liked the Thing better. I like Johnny Storm's sarcasm and that aspect, but I mean,
you like the big hulking
monstrosities
that can wreck the world.
Did you enjoy the Fantastic Four
movies?
The first two. I don't know if you've seen the new one yet.
I have not seen the new one.
Haven't either.
I didn't like the movies, but I do like. I like Fantastic Four concept. I like all that stuff from the comics. I like all of their powers. I like the team.
I wish they would integrate them to the Marvel universe
It's really hard to.
and stop letting Fox
They're
screw them up.
It's probably going to happen at some point. Because at least comic-wise, the Fantastic Four's dead.
I just
Each one's something else now.
at this point though, I like adult stuff, and they're not going to be R-rated. Like that's just not what they are. And
So you should really like Deadpool.
Yeah.
What?
I don't see why she wouldn't be a superhero.
As far as I know, it takes place in the DC cinematic universe that they're setting up.
Maybe now, Supergirl.
Supergirl, the new show, Supergirl.
I honestly don't know. I know any Marvel are canon for the Marvel Universe. I don't know if DC are. Or at least the
so.
Flash and Arrow aren't. Even
You
though
sure?
almost positive.
I'm pretty sure those two. I know they're in the same universe, and I was thinking that was.
Well, they're in the same universe, but I don't think they're part of the newly building DC universe, movieverse.
See, I was thinking they were. Maybe not. I don't know. Because I know both companies are planning a janitorial series for their respective, like, it's office style show. Like, one's the cleanup crew for all the wreckage that happens because of Superman's fights and stuff. And I forget what Marvel's covers. That's a similar type thing.
That's interesting.
But yeah, they're both scheduled to come out sometime this year, I think. I think they're going to be straight to Netflix type shows.
So what's your number 5?
Venom. In all aspects.
I just, once again, though, a lot of that is character design for me. Like, as far as comics, it would be Green Goblin if I were going to pick a Spider-Man villain, because I've read a lot more of the comics with him in them. He was more of a villain for the ones I read, and he would probably be my favorite. He has a neat character design too.
Yeah, I like Venom.
Topher Grace Venom?
Nah, not particularly. I like Spider-Man 3, but I don't like Topher Grace Venom.
That's like, I really like the icon figure up there. Like
Yeah. Is that Brock?
Yeah.
Definitely my favorite Venom. As far as character design, I really like Agent Venom. That's just come along more recently. But I think he's too close to the Punisher as far as abilities, attributes, the way he's utilized.
I like the Punisher's character too. But not in the top 5.
Yeah. The offshoot of that is I really like Carnage as well. I like that character design that they both shared, but I like that Carnage was like crazy. Whereas Venom was more just
angry.
Yeah, malicious. Was more malicious. Carnage was just insane.
Psychotic.
Right.
I like the old Spider-Man cartoon they had on Fox when we were youngsters. I liked Carnage. Well, Venom and that was good, but I liked when they brought along Carnage. Because that's pretty much the first time you really see Carnage anything.
It was probably...
It wasn't bad.
They've got two new symbiotes, too, that are more recent. Toxin and
Did
some
we look
female.
this up to where there's like 5 different ones?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think any of them have stuck. I'm pretty sure Venom and Carnage are it.
Well, yeah, but there's Venom, Carnage, said Toxin, a female one. There's Anti-Venom.
Yeah, it's not real.
Who you got?
Galactus. Stan Lee's favorite too. I've always liked
a cop out. I think Galactus is a cop out.
I've always liked that. The history of stuff, the background, because like even Star Wars wise, I'd look into the back of that. Halo, I always like looking into the history of like all that. Then you get into that, and he's been around like since the Big Bang, technically before that. I've always enjoyed that.
How can you find a giant deity thing in the sky?
Yeah,
I can't.
The fact that he's this deity who loses all the time.
There was one I forgot, but anyway. Silver Samurai. Again, X-Men.
Yeah. My last one's the Hulk.
Thank you.
What?
He won't bring it up.
I did bring up the Hulk by saying Doomsday. It was hard to make a list of 5. I could put more on there.
That's why you choose top 5.
It's 5's hard at
anyway,
times.
Hulk.
It would be nice to be someone who, the more angry you got,
the stronger you got.
Yes.
You get frustrated, just be like,
a lot of the comics I had were Hulk comics. I had a bunch of them. And some he fights the Thing, and then, Wolverine, so it was...
I never liked the Hulk growing up, just because I always felt like, well, what can kill him? Like, why do you give me something that doesn't have a weakness, per se? And I know he has a weakness, but it's like, you've made him invincible by making him stronger as he gets angrier. Like, give him a weakness. Let something. I just never understood. I don't like characters like that, which is also part of the reason I didn't like Superman. It's like, what the heck? You've made him like impervious to 99% of everything.
Yeah.
Like, give him a flaw.
All right. Anything else you want to cover with superheroes before we move on to questions?
Anybody out there watching have any questions or comments towards superheroes?
I was gonna put I like Batman. I was gonna put him on my list. I enjoy his stuff. I'm not one of those weirdos that's like you can't like one or the. I like Marvel stuff too. X-Men.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's see who all we got back there.
Iron Man.
Black Panther.
Apocalypse is cool.
Um,
I did enjoy the Juggernaut, even though he's kind of stupid in the
never a
end.
big fan of Cyclops.
Yeah. You don't ever choose the hero. I hate Bumblebee. I hate Optimus.
I liked Rogue in the original cartoon.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I did too. I like
The
how she
only
talks.
Mainly because she
entity
was a freaking
in
tank.
pop culture that I would have chosen the good guy's side, given the choice, would be Jedi and Sith. I would choose Jedi over Sith. But everybody else, I'd choose Decepticon. I would choose bad guys in all of superherodom. Like,
Would you like to live in Minnesota? That was a question.
yes, I actually looked at going to a school in Minnesota when I went to college. When I was looking at colleges. I would love to live in cold weather.
I thoroughly enjoy the snow and cold weather. I would love it there.
I like anywhere there's no people. So if you gave me a cabin with no one around me,
A ton of land.
He's from Italy.
Do what?
He's from Italy.
Cool. Hello. What part of Italy?
What part of Italy have you been to?
Rome and Florence. And then whatever.
Sicily.
I've been to Naples.
have you
Pompeii.
been to Sicily?
I don't remember.
I played Assassin's Creed.
Go you.
You guys have any questions? Did you bring anything?
Rattle them off.
Anybody want to cover David Bowie? I figured Andrew would have something to say about David Bowie.
That's kind of shitty. I liked his music.
Okay, well, what music did you like?
I like Superman too.
Okay.
I'm answering questions.
I was like, did I miss something?
Like, did he do the soundtrack?
Maybe he did.
Fame's good. Heroes, whatnot. All those. Space Oddity I enjoy a little bit. It's kind of weird.
The songs I like, I don't know they're David Bowie until somebody tells me they're David Bowie. So if I heard it, I would be like, oh, I like that song. And then Erica would say,
That's David Bowie.
yeah. So
I'm like, huh, okay.
I guess
Yeah,
I do
I never
like
really
the
listened to
music.
David Bowie.
He's in Dune, right? He's
He's in.
the main character. Or like
He's in the Labyrinth.
that's the one I've seen.
The Goblin King.
Yeah. I think he is in Dune too, though, right?
I've never seen Dune.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I heard Dune was not worth watching.
I heard the book was good, so I thought about reading the book. But anyway,
I did read at some point that
So I think he's gone, but
the Space Oddity or Ziggy Stardust, whatever the album was called, he doesn't remember making it
yeah, I mean,
because
I know
he
they were
was
talking about all the
on
drug use
so
and stuff.
much crap. He literally did not know he made that, or he knew, but he didn't. At no point remembers it.
Any thoughts on the football playoffs so far?
nah, fantasy's over. I checked out.
Oh, Timmy won our league too. Congratulations, Timmy.
I hate you. My team fell apart at the end.
You're all welcome.
Like I had injuries and injuries more than anybody else, to where I'm sitting there looking through just like I picked up blue off of Houston.
Won 2 of the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Actually, we've only done 3, I think, and he's won 2 of them.
Like
It's
Andrew
pretty sad.
Blue or whatever. Like I had to pick up him at some point because my running backs were
I'll get it
all
next year.
hurt.
Did you watch the Bengals and Pittsburgh game? Everybody's talking about it and how horrible it was.
No, I watched a little bit of it,
I
but
can't make heads or tails of the news on it.
I
It
was
violent.
I've seen like one guy got hurt, one guy made fun of the guy getting hurt.
Well,
that guy's being fined. Then there's like something happening
it's one of those where
outside of it, like I don't.
The dude caught the ball and turns, and they call it a football move. Once you make a football move, you can be hit, so you're not a defenseless player anymore. And guy came in and just creamed the hell out of him, and the Bengals were pissed by it. It looked dirty until you slow it down and they break it down. It was like, well, he started running and he saw him, but the dude was just way too close for you to react. It'd be like you turning, all of a sudden I'm right here coming at you.
Yeah, he turns and gets it. But they had went at it the whole game, and I guess the last game they played, which was only like 2 weeks ago, because they're in the same division, so they played twice a year. And there was just a lot of altercations and stuff.
Yeah, I know that they don't like each other.
New rivals.
They blew it at the end with personal fouls, but I don't think they would have been in that like, oh, we almost won. If Andy Dalton would have been playing, they probably would have won the game.
Yeah,
one point decided it.
1 or 2.
2, yeah, something like that. This is a good game. The Minnesota game was a good game too.
I did not even catch that. I didn't realize it was on that early because I was used to Saturdays.
It was great. It was below 0.
I didn't think it'd be that close.
It was like 11-9, I think.
I thought the Seahawks would just blow them the hell out of there.
Yeah, it was awesome. You could see their breath when they were like the whole game.
Like playing a good 2K sports
game.
Like
from the top, it's like Eric is like, I've never seen that before. It's like I have on my game. That's about it.
My brother likes Green Bay, so I've never really rooted, but just to be a dick, I was kind of hoping the
Seahawks would win.
The Redskins.
Oh.
Which they had chances, but they just kind of blew it by not being able to catch balls.
Random question, and they talked about a lot today on the Dan Lebitard show, was he said he thinks it's stupid that a kicker decides the game because they have nothing to do with, like, you have people who run into each other or murder each other to try to gain real estate through the whole game, and then it's like you just take a random person and you kick this.
So
well, I see his argument, but there's also this line protecting him, and your job on the other side, and it happens it happened a bunch this year.
Get through.
Is to get through, get a hand up, and block it.
Well, he said that it was, and I thought it was taking it to the extreme to make someone understand, but it's the way that I did think. So, it's like having a dance contest at the end of the game to see, because it's that arbitrary. It's like you don't use the kicking motion other than to kick the ball to the other team. Like, other than a field goal, there's no point in it. So it's like if we would go to the driving range and have a driving contest on who can drive the ball the furthest, and we keep tying, and then we just pick some friend with us, and it's like, will you go putt and see if you can make it, and we'll decide it. Or I used, if you're playing war with cards and you keep tying, it's like, okay, let's just cut high card, whoever gets high card wins. And it's like, well, that has nothing to do with the game that you're playing. Like, I actually do agree with some of the logic to it. But, I mean, my point of view is also like, well, that's the game you're playing. If it's part of it, it's part of it.
I was going to say, is it not? What are they talking about?
Well, he's just saying, like,
as far as like a field goal?
We've ran into each other the whole game, me and you.
So why is it a field goal?
Why do you need kickers? Like, why should me and you wrestle?
Them again, then. It's part of it. They're part of the team. That's
talked,
part of the strategy.
They've talked about it.
If we get close enough, we have this option.
Well, but what he's saying is, can't you just take them out all together?
Is it
so
not
it's like you just play four down.
Yeah. It's unique.
You would just play till it's fourth down. I either turn it over or I get first down.
I mean, what happens when you're going for the win on this field goal, and the kicker's going? They break through the line. The kicker gets the shit tackled out of him, and they run it back for a touchdown. The other team wins, and nobody's going to have the argument why it's kicking him even in. Or if they're going for the extra point to tie to win.
It's like if me and it's like saying, okay, we're going to start this new boxing league, and me and Rob are going to punch each other for 4 rounds, and if it's not settled, then our corner guys are going to come putt and see who makes it.
But that's not it.
It's
not, because that's not related. Kicking is.
To what, other than the fact that... Because all they do the whole game is run into each other to try to gain the yard. that has nothing to do with kicking. Like, the kicker's
No.
not on the field. So it's no different than taking a boxer out of the ring and have someone that's not in the ring settle that.
Yeah, but
Like, it would be more like if we boxed and at the end we couldn't decide, so we thumb wrestled, just you and I.
No, because, well,
It's still part of the team.
but the corner man would be part of the
Let's
training team, and he wouldn't have the same skill
Then they could
set.
thumb wrestle.
It's a 180-pound like kicker who
would
hasn't been
annihilate it
touched
if
all
he-
game. Yes.
Yeah.
well, what about one of those games where he's constantly out
Put
there
something-
kicking, or a lot of times the kicker is the punter too, or kicks off, so gets blocked,
So he
gets
wasn't
tackled.
active. I assume the kicker wasn't active that game. There's some games where they are.
No, he actually had all their points, but I mean that's kind of the point too, though, is he. It could, but if you just took him off, the game would still be decided. I
mean,
was just
you still have most of the regular line. Like, I know the kicker at times can be fresh, but you still have most of the regular line. You have the long snapper that's unique to the situation. The holder is sometimes the starting quarterback because it's that or his backup,
right. And
usually. But sometimes it's even been the starting to assure it. And then now they've put stuff in place to where if you have to go for the extra point, get the point to maybe win or tie, if they block it, and then they can get points, score 2, because if it's an extra point, you get the 2 points for the run back, then that can be decided the other way. So it's
the game, so I don't care. Like, I don't have a horse in the race. That's the game you present to me. I'll watch it. But I just think it would be. I would like to see football play without kickers too, and just see. I think it would be interesting.
The
like,
only time
it's fourth down, I can't punt. I have to go for it every time.
Right.
The only time I don't enjoy kicking is when it's
That would be.
tied or a kick 3 is going to put you up, and they kind of move downfield, and there's time left, and instead of like, well, let's try to get the touchdown, like maybe timeouts left, maybe
But think
not.
about it.
They just kind of run it like safe to get a
Think
little
about
more yards.
kicking as a special maneuver. You play this whole game building up your special bar, and then you have this opportunity to use this special maneuver
No, I mean,
to get you an edge or to get you whatever.
Well, and that's how I look at it. Is like, do better, and you won't have to depend on your kicker as much. Like, if you get closer, it should be easier. I just think like it would be interesting rather than kick off. You just set the ball in the middle of the field. It's like you guys go get it, and whoever comes out with it gets it first.
Well, almost on
You
the
know
same
what I mean?
degree.
And then it's just you just go back and forth. If you don't get a first down,
That's how every quarter that should do that. Just reset the ball right in the middle. Both teams start at the end zone and run towards the ball.
Well, on the same degree of the kicks, extra points counting, penalty kicks and shots for hockey and soccer, because that's an extra thing that does decide games.
well, and all that's fine. But his point was you shoot a puck in the game. Like, do you play 4 downs, throwing a ball or handing it off? You don't kick it.
Yeah, but if it's that end of the game extra shot, instead of
but it's
like
still a motion that you use.
but instead of like weaving through people to make this shot, it's you and the goalie. So at this point, it's the kicker, technically against the defensive line. So
But how much more
he's trying to get it past the goalie into the net.
how much more unfair would it be then if when you get close enough, instead of a kicker, quarterback gets the choice to either throw it to a person or throw it through the uprights?
Do you not think that it's odd that really, if you didn't have a field goal kicked all game, that other than kicking it off to the other team or punting, that the only time this person would do anything would be at the end of the game when the game is on the line? It's like they could literally sit on the bench the whole game and then come out and it's like, all right,
Make it or break it.
we have
There's a Holy
There's
Ventura
been
movie made on this.
50 people
Well,
like running
this is
into
out.
each other. It's like,
it's kind of it's not the same, but it's like NBA. Darko for years was that guy that right at the end of the game when they knew they were going to win, Darko got put in. And then they knew it was like, oh, we're winning. Darko's in because he was terrible. He's still getting paid money. He barely did anything.
anyway, I didn't want to go off on a big tangent. I just thought it was an interesting.
Technically, there is a degree of difficulty. I can't kick a ball. I've tried. I can't punt it, and I've even kind of tried to tee it
I'm
up.
not I'm not denying that there's difficulty or skill involved. I'm just saying it doesn't really
It's
relate
arbitrary
to yes.
compared to the ongoings of the game up to that point.
It's really picking something kind of random and putting it in there. I did agree with that point. It's like
foul shots.
It's like taking. It's like saying at the end of a baseball game you're going to play roll and hit the bat or something. Like well, we're tied, so let's put 2 people on the pitcher's mound and see who rolls it the closest.
What if
like you're still using a ball, you're still using a bat, like
yeah.
What if an NBA team had a what is it when you get flagrants or something?
But they're still shooting the ball. It's still a maneuver you use.
Can't you choose who shoots the ball?
But it doesn't matter. It's still something that whoever you choose would probably be someone who's participated in the game somewhere, just like a hockey.
What if you had
a bench warmer the whole game?
What if you had a 9th or 10th guy that can't shoot worth a damn in a game, but he can make a free throw almost 100% of the time?
But I'm not taking somebody off the bench and saying go throw a touchdown. Like it's something that you do. So if I go shoot a shot, it's like rather than shooting a shot, it would be some other thing. That's not done during the game because that's done during the game.
Right.
I think Levitar just brought this up because the team he wanted to win didn't because of kicks. Otherwise, I've literally never heard that argument before.
I was going to ask if you had a superpower, what would it be? Since we talk about superhero stuff.
That's a toughie. I got 2 that come to mind that I at times can't.
A superpower.
Well, I'm just saying, I got 2 that it's hard to distinguish between. Like, I'd like to be, like, stupid strong. Not throw a car across state lines, but...
Why not?
I mean, if you could be the Hulk, then would that be the superpower you would want?
If it was a world where people were kind of mutant-esque, I'd want to be, like, Sabretooth strong. Because he's kind of like retardedly strong, but he's not. I'm going to take this rock and I'm going to hit the moon with it.
What about you?
Because at some point you can get angry at somebody and shake their hand and literally snap it to nothing. Like that's dumb.
Come on.
I don't know.
It's mainly because I would do like underground fighting and whatnot and just win tons of money.
I don't know. I don't know whether it would be... I would like to say to be able to understand and speak any language, like intelligence, but then I'd get real annoying. So we'll just go with like...
Yeah, but if you did that, you could also, in theory, understand animals.
Come on. I'll give you...
Fine. The ability to fly.
Okay. Mine would either be mind control or invisibility, because I think you could use both to your advantage very well.
Ooh, mind control.
I'd like to be immortal.
I said mind control. I guess I should have probably...
Why would you want to be immortal?
I'd like to live forever.
And not age beyond where you're at?
Pretty much.
Okay.
And if somehow I did get wounded...
decrepit.
Now, if you got wounded, like something that wounded you enough, like just heal
Wolverine.
right back up, kind of Wolverine is. But
well, that's why I was the boy.
He's just going to live a long time. I'd still like to. Like it would just, if I did get hurt, it'd just heal back up. But at this point, I would be like
Will
a
Deadpool
Highlander.
eventually die? Or does his healing factor eliminate that?
Well, considering he's
I know
come back from a pool of blood.
Right, I know he can regenerate from a speck. But I mean, he still has cancer. So, I mean, does his healing factor, like when the cancer would technically kill him, will his healing factor kick in? And he just live? So it's effectively cured his cancer while giving him...
It is after 6:30.
I know.
Oh, we can wrap up.
I was just curious if
so he's still...
Because his healing ability is a step better, I guess, than Wolverine's.
So wait, he still, as Deadpool with that, he still has cancer, but is his healing ability technically constantly curing it?
Yeah.
And it coming back?
I just thought he was at an even.
Just...
Yeah.
Then it would depend whether Deadpool can age or not.
So that's another one.
Because if
Deadpool age.
If that I mean, technically, Wolverine can live
I mean,
hundreds of years.
I really want to see Old Pool. I want to see a movie. Logan, Old Man Logan, and Old Man Wilson. Logan's like, Mr. Wilson.
I'm sure eventually he
And they
would
just
die,
beat the
but
tar out of each other. And
he would probably live
ta-da,
way
wake up.
longer than Wolverine.
Groundhog Day style. Next day, they just do it again. Beat the tar out of each other. Go to sleep. Wake up.
Do you still have that on Twitter or whatever where you can ask Stan Lee stuff?
I mean, you can too on Twitter.
I'm not going to sign up for Twitter though. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, theoretically, I could send him a tweet and ask him. He didn't answer my last one, so. Is that what you want me to ask him this time?
Yeah.
Well,
We finally have a question that's worth
Will
asking.
Deadpool ever die? Let's ask
The
you.
Stan Lee.
Let's ask Eli first, because I want to see his opinion. And Anthony. I want to hear their opinions.
No, because he
I know Anthony hates Deadpool.
He
but
hates
he'd still be able
Deadpool. He hates Rob Liefeld for creating Deadpool. You can't ask him anything about Deadpool.
I'm gonna. Alright, what was the last one?
You guys probably haven't read the Count of Monte Cristo.
Right.
In it, this guy gets framed or whatever and put in
I've
jail.
seen the movie. Yeah.
He ends up being in jail with a guy who gives him a map with that leads him to a treasure, and he utilizes that to get revenge on all the people that got him put in jail. And my question was going to be, if the situation came to be and you ended up in that situation, would you just go and enjoy the money, or would you want revenge?
I'd enjoy money. I mean, I don't know the specific details as far as.
Yeah, but doesn't he spend the entire fortune getting revenge on everybody?
I didn't think he spent all of it, but
I thought it's either
So
that
to
or
me,
like
Or
each
squander.
account, I think he still enjoys his life at the end of the book. The whole thing is about getting revenge, and I love the book because it's about revenge. But I'm getting to the point where it's like,
wasn't
What an idiot.
no, but right, but
wasn't part of it to also get his family back?
No,
I thought that fell through.
the guy ended up marrying his fiance, and they had a kid and stuff. So he plans on having the kid killed and all this stuff.
Old Testament style.
But the lady begs him not to because it's her daughter. But anyway, he ruins the guy's life in order to get revenge.
I just take the money and be gone. Cut
It's,
my losses and go.
hey, I want vengeance and justice.
Vengeance would be nice, but what
I
would
might
be
seek my options.
if it's a modern day? I don't know what would be better, vengeance or retribution, as you have this asshole that was just a dick to you, did something bad to you, and all of a sudden you come back and was like, I'm a billionaire now.
See, I might look into the price of a sniper or something like that.
That's getting revenge.
That's what I'm saying. But it would not be using my newly acquired resources to ruin this person. It would just be well, if I can't do it in one quick, I'll just forget about it. I don't think I would plot out
right, but that's kind of the point of the question for me was, is it that important? You've gotten everything.
Not.
You've gotten everything that you could wish for in life, but rather than just go be happy and let this person be, is there something in you that would want to?
In the grand scheme of things, I don't think so. No, I'd probably just be well, that sucks, but here's the.
I mean, I would stay mad forever, but I'd also be happy with money.
Here's the. Yeah, I was just saying, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I've gone through the rain to get here.
I think that most people would have a hard time letting that go, but I think that's sad.
I'm not one to hold grudges, though. Not typically.
Sent me to prison. I was going to die there. I got out. Escaped.
The only thing that would cause me to consider it would probably be as if a family member or something like that was murdered at this person's hands, and then I'd probably be all right, I feel like you have to
I do
be
think
punished.
his father died while he was in prison.
You
like
do have to be punished.
he was caring for his father, and I think that his father ended up neglected because of it.
If there
He
was,
in prison, so his father had nobody.
Mhm.
I mean, if there was circumstances like that to where instead of not just you, others were, then I would maybe go
Hell,
more
for a
the
cat, I'd have burnt somebody's house to the ground, whether they were in it or not.
I mean,
So for a human, like, if I went home and found a family member laying a gunshot wound to the head on my couch, I'd be like, all right, game on. We're gonna make this right. And yes, I would probably pursue that person until their life was as miserable as mine was, or they were dead. That I don't think I could let go. I would just be like, all right, nope. I'll enjoy my money afterward. But short of that, you can break into my car. You could steal my car, and I'd just be like, well, that's not annoying. Like, dang, shucks. That's not enough to make me kill someone.
I just thought it was interesting.
But your cat,
I was thinking about it.
I was in a bad way.
but Mr. Bigglesworth is.
That's right. No, because it was just malicious, and malicious intent is what aggravates me. It's malicious intent that when somebody does something like that, just to be a dick, that I'm like, that doesn't sit well. If it was an accident, like they hit my mother in a car and something like that happened, I probably wouldn't hold it against them. Not for any long period of time, anyway. And it wouldn't be enough to make me want to murder them. But if they were like purposely like, I cut your mom's brakes, ha ha ha.
Not
I'd be like,
the
well, I'm gonna break your neck.
revenge sense, but
Ooh.
I might, with money, would plan the most elaborate, like April Fool's joke ever.
No, I just
No,
in my
because-
head I just went through a whole series of torture. This is where we should
Great.
cut this off. Psychopathic Robbie's coming out. This is not good.
Alright, so enjoyed our comic book thing.
Yeah.
We'll have to work on something for next week. If you have anything that's interesting, top five, send it. We'll gladly go over it. We're always looking for ideas, so.
Post it on our Facebook page if you've got a top 5 superheroes that you want us to read and comment on. Post it on YouTube once this video goes up. It should go up in the next week. So,
Somebody said no.
fine. Don't then. It's your choice. I'll burn your house down.
That was me.
Oh, was it?
Alright.
You gonna give us hearts too?
No.
Enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing the hour with us.
Peace.